Good morning. Having some technical difficulties, so please let me know if you can hear me or not. I don't know what's going on. Couldn't tell you. Let's see here. Okay, let me see if I can find the chat. Can you all hear me? If you can, that's a good thing. Let's see. If you can't, that's a bad thing. Oh. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find the chat. Good morning. I can hear like a blip, like, oh gosh. Okay, let me see. That should help. You can hear me and you can see me. Well, that's good. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Well, I don't know what the deal is today. I don't know how long I'll be by myself, but so we'll just have to wing it like usual. Sally had to go to do some testing or something this morning, and I'm not sure where everybody else is, but sonar sound is gone. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. So what did you all do to Sally yesterday? The thumbnail looks like she's crying. She's probably laughing. It's probably what's going on, but that's too funny. I don't think she was crying. I don't know. Hey, I could be wrong. I definitely wouldn't be the first time. So I hope everybody is doing good today. Do y'all have many things going out today? Any orders? I have 5, believe it or not. I sold a yeah, Sally made a pudding she had a funeral yesterday that she had to go to. So let's see, what was I going to say? Oh, so I had 5 things go out. I sold I had a Samsung Galaxy Note 4, and I sold that, and so hopefully everything goes okay with that. Kind of nervous. I haven't really sold anything of that value for ever. Well, that's good, Tracy. What happened to your store? Oh, that's fine, Hank Allen Cash. That's fine. You can, sometimes, I try to do it at night, but more often than not, I actually end up doing it in the morning. And that's one of the reasons why I get up so early at 5. So I have plenty of time to wake up, drink my tea, move around, and oh, wow. Tracy said she wasn't selling crap for about a week. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, it's not too bad. It could be 0 silver hair, right? Well, yeah, you just never know about, were you listing and like you always do, like your your normal 20, where you list in that. I mean, that could, definitely make a difference. Um, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, you just have, that's the thing, and I've heard it. I don't remember June last year. Of course, I was just getting started full time and everything, but um, I don't remember it being slow, but I don't remember it being crazy either. So it was probably just kind of winging it. Can you hear me okay, everyone? Uh, Jack says our eBay sales are about a third of what they were this time last year. I called them bitch, and miraculously, a trickle of sales came in. Well, that's good. Maybe they hit the button. Maybe they just need to hit the jackpot button on all of us, right? Just ding, 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 ding. Oh, I was listing death piles of $10 to $15 items. I thought maybe that was it. Pins, albums, sheet music. Really shouldn't matter as long as you've got, you know, um, activity. I wouldn't think that would matter. No, I don't think the relisting counts at all. Um, I think it probably did, and then we're probably finding that people weren't as active on their account as they would be if they were, just basically, on their account. Um, so I think it makes a big difference if you're listing compared to relisting. I think you can get away with it for a day or two. Say if you're sick and you just, you're not able to get up, you can, yeah. I mean, you could end the item and relist it, or sell similar, and that way it'd go into make a new account or make a new number and an item number and all that. But I think you could probably get away with that for a couple of days. But I think they go by activity, and it's also, I think okay, so I'm trying to figure out my words here. So I think they base it on, if you're getting sales, it bumps it up. I think, so if you get one sale, I think it gives you a little more ump. Um, and then you get a few more sales. And then, but you have to have the activity. You have to have, doing something in your store, whether it's revamping, it's, changing keywords, it's, just doing something. Yeah, I think any activity counts. Go in and tweak stuff, take best offer off, then a few days put it back on, things like that. I completely agree. I think you have to have that activity, and that's what they want. They just don't want stale items sitting around. And Jack says it shouldn't be a mystery how to sell crap online. It's a constant game of whack-a-mole. Amazon is a fickle bitch, but you don't have to have any of the but you don't have any of that there, at least. Yeah. Yeah, I think it goes, both. I think you have to be active on eBay. I think they want you to be active. They don't want a bunch of stale items. They want you to work your store, to work your items. If you have brick and mortar, you don't just, put a bunch of stuff on the shelf and just let it sit. You rotate stock. You You dust your items. You see what's not selling. If it's not selling, then you clearance it out, get it out, make room for more inventory. That's something that you do in a store, brick and mortar setting. So I think that's kind of the same theory that you have to use when you're working with eBay. Whether that works or not, I don't know. I think it does because it stimulates something. Jack Smack says, meaning that Amazon doesn't throttle sales or visibility, but will kick you off in a split second. Fortunately or unfortunately, won't kick anyone off even with dusty old dead stock. Yeah. They're two different animals. That's the way I think of it. I was able to do really well with Amazon starting off. And I was just doing RA. I was just going into stores, scanning stuff, getting those good items. I did a lot of Dollar Tree and a lot of Dollar General. But that was when I was working. I'd go over there, I was on the road a lot, so I'd take a break and I'd go into a store and I'd do a little bit of RA, at one store in one town, and then I'd go to another store the next day, someplace else, and either find the same thing, or, different items that were on sale. And I did that quite a bit with Dollar Tree and Dollar General. But it worked for that time, but there was so much. I think I just really got butthurt when, I was paying an amount, $40, I think it was, for the professional account, $40 a month. And to me, from what I understood, that was, your storage, that was your, having your item in. Hang on just a minute. Sorry. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
I wanted to get your take on something. I just swallowed some hand cleaner.
Uh-huh.
And the doctor said to call poison control, and they said there's nothing to worry about.
Okay. I would just give her some milk.
Okay.
Give her some milk, and that'll neutralize it, and she should be fine.
Okay. I wasn't sure if milk or water would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think milk will neutralize it a little bit better. She should be fine.
I swear to God, I'm so done with today already.
Just take a breath. Relax.
Well, we came downstairs, and Kenny had left his beer on the table. So when I went up to grab Maddie, he was drinking beer whenever I came down.
Oh, gosh.
And then I go put Maddie on the floor with a bottle, and I come back in, and they have the fucking Pine Sol out, and then she has white crap all over her face.
Yeah. I'm just gonna, I don't know. All right, honey, I've got the show going.
Okay.
I'll call you later.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye. Poor thing. I'm sorry, guys. Usually I wouldn't do that, but I have a thing. My kids call their number one, and that's just the way I roll. So, and I'm sure y'all feel the same way. So, I would hate to take not take a call and something happen and shit be going down. And I would feel horrible. So there you go. Val, mute yourself. I know I was trying to find the mute button, but it wasn't working for me, of course. Okay. I don't know why today is so, like, I was trying to figure out my headphones again, and and weren't working right. It's just one of those days. Yeah, she's fine. You know, she's got her hands full. She's got 3 babies under 18, so, or 18 months. So she's, and 2 are walking, and you know, it's just a struggle. I know. I know the conversation was live, and that's fine. Um, oh no, you're fine. So now next time I drink fucking Pine Sol, I know who to call. Well, she didn't drink Pine Sol. She drunk some, like, I guess she got some hand cleaner or something, like, you know, the alcohol stuffy thing. That I think that's what she was talking about. Um, yeah, she's fine. She's fine. Um, but and usually the milk will neutralize that. But you know, by all means, call poison control if there's any questions about that. Okay, so back to the good stuff. Anyone have an issue with shipping policies where 3 pounds items are listed under first class? I normally stop. Uh, yeah, it normally stops us from listing. I called eBay and called it a glitch. Huh? I haven't heard that. Chicken fried steak. Hand cleaner. Glug glug glug. Oh my gosh. I mean, truthfully, I think she needs like 3 leashes. Well, the smallest one's not walking yet. She's well on her way though. Um, but you know, the other 2, they're just all over the place. And so, yeah, I'm sure she's fine. She probably got a little bit of, I just told her to give her some milk and she'll be fine. Poison control even told her not to worry about it, so I think she'll be okay. I've noticed in my zone, box choices have disappeared. Oh, A and B regional. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things going on with the system, and I don't know if it's, um, I don't know if it's up to code or not. I don't know. Oh well, maybe. I don't think it's that big of a deal as far as the, and apparently they didn't either. So as far as the hand, you know, the alcohol stuff, I'm sure if you drink, you know, a whole bottle of it, I'm sure you're gonna be a little drunk. But um, I'm sure she's fine. She just got a nice, clean inside, I would say. Oh, I know. Think about all the stuff we ate and did when we were kids and we made it through. I know. Yeah. So I would say if you're having problems with things like that are coming up, whenever I have a problem with something like that where there's just something not right on the, you know, when you're getting ready to ship something, I always go out and then come back in because, you know, it could be my computer, it could be their computer, it could be, you know, some kind of a glitch. So I just go out and then I come back in. And to date, it really hasn't, you know, it's not been a bad thing. Yeah, lead paint chips, mercury just helps with the creativity. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But, and I think, you know, I think we just kind of get used to doing that stuff. You know, you've got so many people on eBay and so many people, you know, shipping in the morning, and you've got, you know, all these people, listing it. I mean, I would say it's probably in the good million, at least of people that are, working this. They're either buying or they're selling or whatever. So I know that there's going to be glitches. There's going to be things that happen with so many people using it. Yeah. Tracy Atkinson says crab apples off the ground before you know it. Bird fly over and poop everywhere. Yeah. Right in the back of the truck with no seatbelt or seat belts. Yep. No seat or seat belts. Yep. Been there, done that. It's all how you look at it. Yeah. I mean, she definitely did the right thing. She called the doctor and then she called poison. They told her to call poison control. But, I think you've got to get a handle on, you got to childproof your house when you have kids that young. So, you don't put the cleaning stuff in places where they can reach out to it. Yeah, Beth, I know that he had something going on, and I don't know exactly what's going on. I need to reach out to him actually and find out if he's doing okay. I don't want to, say anything but yeah, I'll reach out to him and see if he's doing all right. He may just be watching. He may not be able to, um, get in the chat or whatever. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm sure he's fine. Just keep him in your prayers. That's a good thing. Everybody can use a prayer every once in a while, right? So I hope you all can still hear me. I hope everything's okay on this end. Nikki, I sent you an invite. Do you want me to send you another one? Or are you good just being in the chat? I'm just kind of hanging out. Sally's probably not going to be back. I don't know if she'll make the show or not. But we'll just hang out. Well, I'm glad you can still hear and see me. Hearing me is the main thing. You don't actually have to see me. Jack Smack says, I doubt if you could even sell them now. They might be offensive. Yep. Yeah. Oh, Nikki says I can call her. Call me. Oh. Let's see. Let's do it. I hope I'm not too boring for y'all. So I sold that phone. And that was, I don't know. I just felt so weird about selling that thing, but I think it'll be okay. It was just, like I said, it was a Note 4, and it was in really good condition. I mean, I always keep a case on my phones and all of that. So, it was in really good condition. So I sold it. I sold it for $200. So not too bad. But when I was doing, getting all the, doing the shipping and everything, I did do a signature confirmation on it just because it was a higher amount. It was going to Brooklyn, New York, which doesn't mean anything. I mean, I just want to make sure that they don't just leave it on the porch and it gets stolen. I did put extra insurance on it, just in case. I'm a kind of a just in case type of person. I don't mind putting a little bit of insurance on something if it's gonna, you know. But I think I'm gonna message the person and let them know, the person that bought it, and let them know that there is a delivery or a signature confirmation on it, just so that they're aware that they may have to go to the post office and pick it up. That's just kind of my feeling. I wasn't even going to put any insurance on it, but because the first 100 is covered by if it's priority mail. But I just figured it was better. I'd be better off just doing. I think it was another 100, so it covered the full 200. So, yeah, I will do that. That way they know what's going on, and they know what to expect. So I was kind of thinking about it, and I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. But as long as the buyer or the buyer knows that that's what it's going to be, then chicken fried steak. As a kid, I was a Flintstone vitamin addict. Snuck 5 or 6 every time. I understand. Oh my gosh. I remember being on the bus, and this sounds horrible, but I remember being on the bus, and okay, Nick, hang on to that thought. I remember being on the bus riding home, and this gal had Kool-Aid, but she had it kind of lined up like Coke, and she had a straw, and she was like, snorting the Kool-Aid, which I don't know what kind of high she was getting off of it, but I was like, sure, I'll try it. So I tried it, and I get home, my mom's like, why do you have pink all over your nose? Oh, I don't know. We were playing on the bus or something, but why would I do that? I have no idea why I would do that. Snort Kool-Aid. That's pretty embarrassing, but I'll just put it out there. Frankie's Fine says my brother ate a whole package of X-Lax chocolates. What a mess. Oh my gosh.
Why would you snort Kool-Aid?
I don't know. I don't even know. Just to see if it'd do anything, I guess. I don't know.
And it didn't do anything for you, I imagine?
No. It burned my nose a little bit.
I bet.
But that was about it. I don't know. Go figure.
That's funny. The things we do as kids.
People do. Kids do. And I was just rebellious. So I took my headphones off because for some reason they are not working this morning. So, and thankfully I can hear something and talk, and everybody can hear me.
You sound really good today.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Tim says when he was in college, he worked for a deli in the summer. A female had a brown bag with a straw every day, was drinking starch, was addicted, said her mom fed it to her as a kid, and because they were poor.
Yeah.
Wow. Chicken Fried Steak says kid used to snort chalk in the 6th grade to impress the rest of us snickering dorks. What a moron.
Yeah, I used to eat glue or eat paste.
Oh my god.
You know what Jim said when you're talking about snorting the Kool-Aid? And Nikki's like, will it do anything? And Jim's like, yeah. She starts saying, oh yeah. That I gotta go get something to drink.
No, I actually said, "Hey, Kool-Aid." Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it didn't do anything for me. It just burnt my nose a little bit. So
You're a Kool-Aid addict.
yeah. I was very curious, and I would basically try anything that,
I shut
you know,
man.
which is a horrible thing because
Your system is directly up your nose.
No, you had to add the sugar to it though. It was sugar free.
Right. Oh yeah.
When I was a kid, we'd snort Sweet and Low. If we went to a restaurant, we'd take the packets of Sweet and Low, and then later at home, because we had friends that we would go out to dinner, and they had kids too, and we'd take the Sweet and Low packs, and then when we got home, we'd snort the Sweet and Low, just like on a deer kind of thing. And oh my god, it like runs down your sinuses and stuff. It's just horrible. But that was not the thing. The real thing was my dad had to go to the emergency room, and this is like in the 1940s, 1950s. He shoved a bunch of Play-Doh up his nose, but he had so much Play-Doh up there they had to take him to the doctor to get it. Oh, I guess those days you probably just took him to the doctor. You didn't really go to the emergency room. They had to go up there with whatever Dr. Tools Play-Doh removing tools to get all the Play-Doh. It was all packed up in his nose and his sinuses and stuff.
That sounds like a real brain trust.
And my dad's a smart guy. I don't always think of it that way.
Brilliant.
oh my gosh. Yeah, good old days. Good old days.
Spec, that's not very nice to growl like that.
Hey, Spec, here. Your
What's
course.
going on in the chat? Is Jason causing trouble? Sounds like it. Yes, I completely agree. Hemostats are the universal tool. You can smoke a joint. You can dig Play-Doh out of a kid's nose with them. Yep, I completely agree.
Jason, yes, go ahead and drop that FedEx package off at UPS. I'm sure UPS will be great with it.
I bet they get a kick out of that, wouldn't they?
I am just kidding, by the way, guys.
Don't do it.
Don't anybody do it.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't trying to be a troublemaker. I just was trying to help people, but
Yeah.
apparently it's like blowing up over there like crazy. But oh well, whatever.
Where is that at reseller?
Yeah. The other Facebook group.
Reseller Society? Is that it?
Yeah. Everybody's just kind of like just there about it. I was like, holy crap, I'm sorry I tried to help. Whoa. Like, whatever, do what you want to do. I don't care. My business is still running. I'm very successful, so
Yeah.
just trying to help. But that's okay.
That's what I don't understand about, that is, I mean, if you ask a question and you're trying, why not Google it? Why not do your own research and figure it out?
Well, when everybody was asking me to prove what I was saying, I did Google it. I searched all over FedEx. I searched all over USPS. Nobody has anything about it. But like I was telling my friend, or I was telling Jim and them, FedEx probably didn't figure they needed to explain that, hey, don't drop off FedEx packages at the post office. They're not owned by the same people. Right. So obviously you wouldn't do it. But apparently they have to put it in black and white. I don't know.
Shut up. I'm going to tell you something a little scary because I Googled it too. And like in the first things, it comes up with eBay. So I'm like, well, that's weird. Well, on there, like, I guess I'll call it seller forum or whatever. You have people on there saying that it's okay, which you would think almost they would maybe pipe in and say, no, this is the way you should do it or whatever. And on a side note, Nikki, you really stuck a stick in a hornet's nest.
I really did. I didn't think it was that controversial of a topic. I was like, when everybody just started attacking me, I was like, holy crap, what the hell just happened, you know? All I was doing was trying to give some advice to help people out. Like, wow. I mean, it wasn't like I talked about the slow nickel versus fast dime or whatever you call it, or free shipping versus paid shipping. Oh my God. You know? I couldn't believe it. I was like, whatever, you know. I don't care. Whatever everybody wants to think, that's their business.
Yeah, do whatever you need.
I do my business the right way, so, you know.
That's, you know, and that's the thing, like on that forum, that group, I don't offer any kind of, I don't offer anything. Well, because I know, you know, there's certain groups out there that I'm associated with, but I do not participate in them, because I know that I'll be, you know, somebody is going to say, no, that's not the right way, you know. And even though you're just trying to help, you know, you're just trying to put sense in to help, you're going to be chastised, and you're going to, you know, no, it's not. I don't need that kind of drama.
I never post on those kind of things, but actually I did post on the one Nikki started just to give her a little support.
Right.
Oh my God. It's a get around though. I mean, it's like you're taking a shortcut. It'd be, and to me, I equate it as, oh, I'll just ship the stuff media mail because it's cheaper. Yeah, you might not get caught. Yeah, but it's still just a get around.
Right.
You know, you're doing the same thing with that too. It's a get around. For whatever reason, you don't have time. You're too lazy. You don't want to stop at two places. So it's a get around. You're just doing the easiest out.
Right. I mean, I've never done Smart Post. I've never done that way of shipping, just because I don't have, you know, it's 20 miles to the nearest FedEx drop-off point from me. So it doesn't make sense, you know, to do that for me. It was a really heavy item, and, you know, I'd really have to weigh my options, but, you know, I would take it to FedEx and I would find out, you know, where to drop it off. I wouldn't expect that UPS or the post office would accept their packages. Even though sometimes FedEx can drop off packages at the post office, and the post office can deliver them.
My understanding of Smart Post is it starts with FedEx.
Sorry.
It goes to your local town. It goes to that person's local town, which then they could drop it off at that post office for final delivery. But they're not going to carry it through their sorting system, as far as I understand.
Right. That makes sense. It's called like the last mile or something like that, you know.
I actually worked for FedEx when they rolled this program out. And yeah, it was a really good program. I mean, because it saved a lot of people money on shipping, because it costs more for FedEx to do stuff than it does for the USPS to do it, because for one, FedEx drivers are paid more than the USPS people are. For another, you know, there's just it costs more for FedEx to run their operations, because, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, that's what it's called. It's called USPS takes it the last mile. So obviously, if it's the last mile, you wouldn't drop it off at FedEx, or I mean, you wouldn't drop it off at the post office first. Right. You drop it off at FedEx because they take it, and then USPS takes it the last mile. But whatever. Right. I mean that, you know, they all want proof and whatever. I didn't think, you know, FedEx probably didn't figure that they had to put it in black and white, that, you know, you're not supposed. I mean, they've got it in the description. You drop it off at FedEx, or FedEx takes it first, and the USPS takes it its last mile. I mean, that's black and white right there. What don't you understand about that? You know,
right.
I mean,
when you print the label, it says drop it off at the FedEx location.
Yeah.
Well, my post office, because you had other resellers trying to sneak them through, has a big sign on there, Ben. Do not drop off Smart Post here. That's my post office. Now, maybe my post office is wrong, but my point is, if you can drop off Smart Post at the UPS, why don't you drop off your ground packages there too, since it's like a FedEx pickup point, right?
Exactly. And some people have said that, you know, my post office has a FedEx drop box and stuff. Well, it also says in there about Smart Post that you're not supposed to drop them in those neighborhood drop boxes either. But yes, some post offices do have FedEx drop-off boxes. That is just for a convenience for their customers.
Right.
But normally when you ship something Smart Post, usually it's a bigger box or a heavier box, and you're not going to just dump it in a FedEx box, you know, drop box. I mean, you know, normally the stuff that I send Smart Posts are heavy or big.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't even think about dropping them in a drop box.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, on busy days when I've got like a bazillion things to do, I have honestly thought about, well, you know, I'm getting this shipped out like the same day that it was ordered. I probably do have an extra couple days on this. I could just drop it off at my post office and save myself a stop. But no, I don't do it just because you're not supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Even as tempting as it is, because my post office will take them. I had Duluth and Superior post office, and these are big post offices. They'll both take them. Now Superior, hopefully not, because I did teach them about. I brought them actual labels in and said, even though these say USPS, you're not supposed to take these. So they said they were going to teach the rest of the employees, but we'll see. That was months ago I did that, but
yeah.
The post office listens to me, but the people on Facebook won't.
I don't know. Well, maybe they don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Because that's the way they're doing it, so they don't want to change. So they just don't want to hear what you have to say, is what I suspect.
It's like adultery.
And, you know,
if people are doing it, it must be okay.
And everybody wanted to know who said what, and you know, I'm not a troublemaker. I don't believe in blasting people on Facebook. That's why I just made a general statement, because I've seen it more than once, not just once. I've seen it multiple times by multiple supposed to be advanced sellers,
right?
Supposed to be people that people can go to and find out answers. I've heard it multiple times, and so that's why I posted it. It was not meant towards or against anybody. I was not blasting anybody or trying to make any trouble for somebody. I just put the general statement out there so that people would know that it's not right. And I'm the one that ended up getting attacked over it, but whatever. I got broad shoulders. I can handle it.
You can handle it. Pile it on. Bring it.
Yeah, pile it on. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
I just, you know, but like I said, you know, I mean, I said in a comment to friends of mine, that, you know, I'm going to run my business. They're going to run their business. I can afford to do fun things and buy things and stuff. I'm paying off my house this year after only 8 years, all because of eBay. But they can sit and whine and complain that they don't have a pot to piss in. But yet they're going to sit and argue with me about the rules, whatever. You know, numbers tell you who's doing right. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Hank says, Nikki, I legitimately went and poured through FedEx information last night trying to find a glimmer of proof to get those asshats off your back.
No, there's nothing. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
There is something about Smart Post returns, which I can't say I have any experience with, but I wonder if that's like, if you, like, let's say I receive a Smart Post item I'm not happy with and I'm going to return it. I suppose I could use my local post office that then ships it off to FedEx. But that isn't initiating a shipment that I just drop off at, you know, the post office.
Yeah.
Well, when they're saying they need something more concrete, eBay does not typically put things in red letters unless it's a serious thing. And when you go to print a label, we've all printed Smart Post labels. When you get that banner of red letter writing saying, "Do not drop this off at a post office," I mean, concrete. How much more flip concrete would you have to make it? I mean, it's like arguing or speeding ticket with a cop. The signs on the side of the road, you know you were going too fast, you're going to get a ticket. You can cry, you can stomp your feet, you can say I was going to the hospital or whatever your excuse is. Side of the road, freaking law. I don't know, when they say we need something more concrete, I think they got concrete in their freaking head.
Well, somebody else brought up a good point that is, if you drop it off at the post office and FedEx never touches it, if the package is insured and something happens to it where it's damaged, FedEx won't cover that claim.
Yeah.
I don't think you can smart post.
Oh, you can't insure smart post,
yeah,
can
I don't think you can, because
well, that's good to know.
Was lost. So I thought I'd file a claim or whatever. You can't file a claim with the post office or FedEx, even if it gets lost. Even if they just flat out lose it, there's no recourse with on smart post.
I appreciate everybody coming to my defense and trying to find. But yeah, look on FedEx, USPS, everywhere. There's nowhere in black and white that says, except for return, that says that you can or cannot drop it off at a post office. Which I understand though. I mean, because obviously, you're not gonna go take a FedEx package to UPS. Just as I'm not going to take something to Walmart and say, yeah, I bought this at Kmart, but I figured I could just bring it in and return it to you.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't have a sign that tells me I can't do that. There's no hard concrete evidence that I can't.
If you're looking for concrete evidence, why don't you just contact eBay customer service and ask them why they're spreading false information when they tell you in red letters you're not supposed to do that? Because obviously eBay's wrong on that, so they don't take that off their site. Call customer service and tell them what to do that and see what happens if you want concrete.
Well, I just if people don't believe me, they can call FedEx and ask them. FedEx will tell them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if a label says FedEx, you drop it off of FedEx. But in return, it also does say USPS, and some of the post offices do take it, so they think they're right because USPS takes it. But I mean, time and time again, the post office have not always been the best people to ask about rules. But whatever. I mean, do whatever you want. It's your business.
What'll happen is one day you're going to show up. It's like my post office. I was taking flat rate boxes. I just take a magic marker and scratch out the flat rate part and then use them as normal priority mail. And then one day I got a bunch of them came back. And they said, no, we won't move these because you're breaking a rule. And I'm like, yeah, right. I went on the post office website. Took me about a half an hour, but I found the rules. The postmaster was right.
Yeah.
You cannot use a flat, even if you pay the priority postage, you cannot use a flat rate box for some other type of mailing. But they took it for months. They were lied with it. You're gonna go, or you're gonna get when you go to the post office, they're gonna have all your boxes neatly in a tote or something, saying we won't ship any of these because they're smart post. So now all your shippings are late.
Yeah.
Oh. And all those people that didn't believe Nikki.
They're gonna get their comeuppance.
Yeah, and then
he's gonna have the last laugh.
Yeah.
And all you people that supported me and believe me, you're all gonna be laughing also because your packages are gonna be sent and theirs aren't. So like I tell my kids and my husband, I'm a mother and a wife. I know everything. What? I'm sorry.
I said basically you're screwed either way.
Oh, well. People are going to argue, that's why a lot of times I just don't even bother, But I just thought, well, I'll just put myself out there and try to help people, but whatever, That's what we do every day when we come on this show and we go on YouTube and stuff. We put ourselves out there to be attacked or whatever people want to say to us, but it's all right. I can handle it. I know that I'm making money. I'm making a living. I'm doing well. What I do is right.
Right.
That's all that matters.
I'll tell you what the problem is.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Words of wisdom by Dusty. Here we go.
Number one, and I don't even know what we're talking about. Now, I'll tell you the problem right now. When you this is why I personally don't want a big Facebook group. When you get a group that's big enough, you let stupid in the door. And there are some people out there that would argue with a damn fence post just to make themselves feel right or whatever. I've kicked very few people out of the pickers group, but the couple that got booted and just needed to go. It was constantly just like, I don't like strife, you know, and that's why that room has stayed drama free, because you know it's a crap. We don't let everybody in the world in. Problem with a big group like that one is, and I remember from day one, it was how many people can we get? Well, you know, more is not always better. And you get a few admins that in groups sometimes, in any group in general, that, you know, get a God complex. And I don't even know if this was going on with the admin, because I only caught part of it, or was it just specific people in the group or whatever. But, you know, a lot of times it's just.
Well, the thing was the admin was on my side.
Well, the admin was on your side? Well, that's good.
Yeah, the admin did say that you can't.
You know, but that's the point where, too, and I mean, I don't know what all happened did it just go south really quick and name calling and all that kind of BS?
No, I just want more proof.
Huh?
Go ahead, Nikki.
Just what?
It wasn't a lot of name calling, but the one guy was laughing at me and saying Nikki Bauer is not my boss, whatever. I'm just like, whatever.
Well, here's the thing. There's a reason there's two tracking numbers on a smart post label. It is designed, and I think y'all, I kind of woke up a second ago, I heard you talking about bits and pieces. It is designed because the revenue is shared between the two entities. It is designed, like y'all said, to get it quickly from destination city here to major destination city over here. And then the post office gets their little chunk of change for carrying it, like y'all said, the last mile. Mm-hmm. There's a reason there's several barcodes on those labels. There's two tracking numbers. It starts with a FedEx tracking number, and then it automatically switches over. Well, number one, you're probably going to mess up stuff in the tracking, you know, as far as like maintaining your top rated seller and stuff like that. If you skip the one barcode, because it's sitting there waiting for this barcode, and then all of a sudden do something else. I'll give you an example. I have actually had my mailbox store, I dropped off a FedEx Smart Post because they take postal, FedEx, UPS. They had a new employee. She sent it with their post office guy that day. And I'm going to tell you, it took freaking forever for that package to get where it was going. Not to mention, the tracking stayed really jacked up on eBay's end for a while, because eBay's end is looking for the FedEx number. FedEx number doesn't move. You know, all of a sudden, and their back-end system on eBay eventually figured it out, but it's kind of ignorant. You're paying for number one, you're paying for a service. Why would you send it just straight up parcel post and skip the FedEx part? Because parcel post is the bottom of the barrel anyhow. FedEx Smart Post is not that great. Eric and I were actually talking about this yesterday. It's not that great to begin with. I mean, yeah, it gets there fairly quick or whatever, but it's essentially the second part of it is parcel post, which sucks. I mean, I've been doing media mail lately on some of my books and stuff, and well, not a ton. And I told Eric, I said, just out of curiosity, I'm going to track a couple. And the four that I tracked, 4 items in the last 30 days or so that I've sent media mail, left Huntsville on a Friday and got to their destination on Monday. Yeah. And one of them was Washington State. No, the one we're going to Washington State actually got there in 2 days. It left here on a Wednesday and got to Washington State and delivered on a Friday. So what's the point in even, I mean, you know, and I don't know what the whole discussion was in that group or whatever, but what's the point in even using freaking Smart Post? Why don't you just send your shit parcel post then? Because that's all you're really doing. You're cheating your customer because your ass is too lazy to drive to FedEx.
Well, and also, like I said before, recently I have noticed that Smart Post isn't always cheaper than the postal service. I have noticed that on some of the bigger, heavier package that the postal service has beat out FedEx on their pricing. And usually if you're sending parcel post on the post office, another thing you should look at is how much it'll cost for priority, because a lot of times it costs almost exactly the same amount. There's only a few cents cheaper to send it parcel post than the priority. Because when I set my shipping, I always set it for the slowest possible, just so just in case, right? And but when I do I've set it up for parcel that they're paying for parcel post, and I'm going to ship it parcel post. But 9 times out of 10, I end up shipping it priority because there's only a few cents difference.
Yeah, me too. Even with the smart post, I don't use it that much anymore.
Yeah.
And if it's with $1 or maybe even $2 of priority,
Yeah.
I just do a priority because it does take.
Parcel post is not really a value anymore, and as far as priority with getting sorted within the post office, it is god awful slow. So, you know, FedEx Smart Post really isn't as attractive anymore either, because that's what the service is on the postal end. And track one sometime. I've got some tape that I ordered, and they use Smart Post, and I ordered off a guy on eBay. It took 8 days to get here from Ohio.
Yeah.
So, I don't personally like using it to begin with.
Well, the thing about parcel post is the main reason why they started it, not only just to give a better value to the customer, but it was also because then, it goes into value also, is so that people would get their stuff on Saturdays without having to get extra charges for having FedEx delivering it on Saturdays.
That's why they're using Smart Post?
No, that's originally one of the reasons why PS teamed up to do it, because I worked for FedEx when they rolled out Smart Post years ago. They originally did it so that customers could get their stuff on Saturday so that they didn't get charged from FedEx to deliver it on Saturday. Because if you get a delivery on Saturday, you get charged extra money.
On air. FedEx home delivery, though, only runs Tuesday through Saturday.
Well, I know, but some FedEx won't run on Saturday. They're all different.
Right. Home delivery does.
Yes, but some don't. And if you send it not home delivery, they will charge you or they used to charge you for Saturday delivery. I don't know if they still do, but they used to.
Gotcha.
This was before they had all the special ones that'll do. They've got better service now. But when Smart Post was originally put out there, that was one of the reasons why.
Gotcha. I'm sorry that you caught ugliness from nasty people, but that's just totally proves my personal example of why I don't like big groups, and not just Facebook. I think you can let stupid in the door, if you let everybody and their grandmother in. And there are people that everybody's new and everybody has to start somewhere, and there's some people that are just a-holes.
Yeah.
Or shouldn't be business for themselves to begin with, or whatever. And when you've got 25,000 people in a group versus 1,000 people in a group, you know, it's a little harder to weed out the a-holes.
Well, the thing is like Chad said in there, black and white, you're not supposed to do it, so why do it? Plain and simple, but whatever. I didn't want to blast anybody and say, oh, this person said it, and they're wrong. I meant to just put it out there in a group that watches these people so that new people would know that the right way to do it. And I got attacked for it, but it's no big deal. I mean, like I said, I got broad shoulders. I can handle it. I got tough skin.
It is a stupid thing to attack somebody over. You know what I mean?
Well, and I didn't think it was that big of an issue that people would get so offended by it.
You weren't talking bad about anybody or something like that. I mean, it is silly.
I was trying not to talk bad about anybody. That's why I just put in a general post, The
wattage on the other side of the argument is so low. I don't even understand why it's I don't even understand why it's it's like media mail. Hey, you can't ship anything but books that don't have advertising in media mail. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have? Would a person have to do an hour-and-a-half show on that? For Lord's sake! I don't even know. It's just hard for me to get my head around it. It's so simple.
Did somebody do a show on all this after making posts?
No, they're going to.
No, they're going to.
They're going to.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because Bennett posted something on, which one was it?
I don't know.
He posted
a Q&A thing.
Anyway, and that was it Lonnie?
Yeah.
He came back with he's going to do a show on it. He's going to do a Q&A on it.
Or one of his Q&As, Yeah.
If you're going to do a damn Q&A, make sure you know the rules yourself first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all I got to say about that. And that applies with anybody. But it amazes me, and that's not directed at anybody, but it amazes me how many people go out and do shows on things. And at the end of the day, they have to backtrack in their comments or whatever. You know, if I come on and I don't know something about something, I'll be like, I don't have a clue. I'll go look. You have to go look it up. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
And I think we're all in here kind of like that. You know, we're not just going to talk.
And I don't think any of us are set in our ways where it's like, oh no, my way's right, and that's it.
If it said in red letters on eBay, if it said in red letters that this is that I'm wrong, that me saying you have to take it to FedEx is wrong, then I'd go along with it. I wouldn't go around saying, hey, I need concrete evidence beyond what eBay says on their website in bright red letters. You know, that's good enough for me.
Is there anything on the porch?
Yeah, because usually, you know, I mean, we all say, you know, eBay's representatives don't always know the right rules and blah, blah, blah. But if eBay has something in writing on their website, you know damn well that that's the way it's supposed to be, because they are not going to put anything in writing. They are too big of a company, been around way too long. Their lawyers aren't going to let them put something in writing, especially in big, bold red letters in writing, saying that a wrong rule. You know,
the problem is most people don't want to read, because, and they're the people that essentially aren't going to make it this business anyhow, because they're too damn lazy to do the research themselves. Go read the DMM. You know, it's like the whole media mail thing. And, you know, somebody was asking in the comments just now about sending comic books or whatever. Those rules have changed over the years. I mean, I remember when media mail was a lot more lenient on certain things, and they constantly update the domestic mailing manual. It gets updated. But people are too damn lazy to go read it. They would rather go, well, can I do this? And then you're going to base your whole damn business off an answer that somebody gave you in a Facebook group. Really? You know, and you're going to get 15 different answers anyhow, because everybody has their own opinion of what they read one time on the internet, you know. Now go find it in the domestic mailing manual and post a link to it and go, here, read it and determine it for yourself.
Well, and they may have been right 20 years ago, because you got a lot of people who've been doing it for a long time. And like you said, they're constantly updating it. They may have been 100% correct 20 years ago, but if you give that advice out today and it's not current, well, you're going to get somebody in trouble.
Well, like there was somebody who posted about picking up some free stuff alongside the road, and I commented and said, oh, you got some vacuum cleaners. Those can be great for parts, you know, and selling the parts. And then somebody asked, you know, what parts do you sell and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, first of all, I always check the completed listings, because the parts and how much they're worth can always change, you know, and which ones sell. So always make sure you're checking. And yeah, you always have to check yourself, because rules and things, the way things are done, it's always changing. This business is always changing. You have to keep on top of it.
Yeah.
But in my, you know, when I did make this statement, I figured somebody may say, hey, you know, I need proof or whatever. So I went and I searched half the night away, and Hank Allen.
Nikki didn't get any sleep last night.
Not clear any damn information about Smart Post other than them saying FedEx on FedEx's website saying that FedEx takes it and USPS takes it its last mile. That's the only thing I could find about Smart Post.
I mean, that's the way the service was designed. So by doing that, whether it's right or wrong or allowable or against the postal laws or whatever, you're circumventing the getting it quicker to where it's going. So why are you even paying for it? You know, it's just kind of ignorant to begin with.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess that, to me, that's the bigger thing. I mean, yeah, could I hand it to my postal lady and she'd probably take it or whatever? I had one accidentally by my mailbox store shipped that way, and it wasn't a huge deal. I'm gonna tell you though, it took freaking forever to get there and jacked up the tracking on eBay's end. So I mean, when you weigh all those little things in, whether it's right or wrong, since nobody can seem to find a direct link to it, it just doesn't make good business sense, period. You know, and so if you're doing stuff like dropping, I'd have to question somebody that ran their business like that anyhow, personally. So sorry, and I'm sorry if you're in the audience and somebody that does it, but I mean, if that's your, let's see how many corners I cut and how many rules I can bend but not officially break them. I mean, that to me would just be kind of like, wow, really? You really give
because
a shit
then
about your business, you know?
Where do you draw a line of breaking the rules, you know?
Exactly.
And my thing is if people continually to break the rules, even on media mail or shipping stuff wrong on media mail. Now you save a lot of money using media mail sometimes. And well, they could just do away with it. I mean, this program's been around since Benjamin Franklin. That's who created media mail. It could go away tomorrow because people are abusing it. It wouldn't be the first time that the Postal Service or FedEx or somebody else would throw away something because people are abusing it. Or they may not get rid of the program, but their rates are going to raise up. If people continuously abuse the FedEx Smart Post and have USPS doing work that they're not being paid for, their money one way or another. So they'll just raise rates to make up for all the lost time on them handling those Smart Post packages.
Yep.
One way or another, the post office, it's government owned. They're going to get their money one way or another. So
I was just, people are saying, well, I asked my post office if I could do it, whatever. Well, 9 times out of 10, I mean, I've a lot of postal employees just have no clue what's going on. If they do whatever their boss tells them to do, and their boss hasn't really read the DMM or didn't read read the changes that come out to it, didn't realize things changed and misinformed. The post office is known for not being a really good source of information of their own actual rules. So, you probably may have employees telling you, yeah, sure, drop all your Smart Post here. And that may be costing them a ton of money, because they're carrying it that 9/10 of the way when they're not supposed to be doing it, and they're paying FedEx on the side to do it, however that program works.
Yeah. So. Yeah, because FedEx gets majority of the money on every package that's shipped through Smart Post. FedEx is getting the majority of the money, and the USPS is getting this small chunk. So they're handling this package the whole entire way. They're not getting their part of the money. I mean, just take it from there. What are they going to do when they start finding out that they're not making their money? When they start finding out that that's where they're losing money at, because they will find it, and they'll be like, "Hey, we want our money back, so we're just going to raise rates." And then it's going to affect everybody, whether you use Smart Post or not. It's going to affect everybody because the rates are going to go up, and then people are going to be complaining, "Oh, I already can't afford to ship stuff, and now you're going to raise the rates." Well, thank yourself for not doing the right thing.
I use large flat rate boxes, but I keep a little bottle of whiteout and I cover over where it says large, and then I write in small with pen. my mail lady told me I could do that.
And that's another thing. The people that they sit and argue about crossing out this and that and the other thing and using these boxes. The goddamn post office gives you these boxes for free. Why do you have to alter those in order to ship something? Go get a damn regular priority box. Don't use a flat rate box and cross everything out. Get a damn priority box.
People that, like I said, people that are cutting that many corners, my experience has been in X amount of years of doing that. They're usually the people that end up, and I'm not just talking about Facebook groups or whatever. I've known people, real life resellers that I was in the we used to go kind of picking together or whatever. I know one guy that got shut down off of eBay, and I told him, I watched the way he picked, watched what stuff he got. Hey, you can't list that. You can't. Well, I'm going to do it. eBay won't say anything. And I watched him cut corners continuously. The stuff he was shipping out using the wrong boxes. Well, the post office hasn't sent it back. He cut so many corners, it became apparent to me that he just didn't give a crap. And sure enough, within about a year, we kind of lost touch. And I talked to him a year later, and he's like, yeah, eBay shut me down. I'm having to sell everything on Craigslist now. And it was like, I saw that coming. I didn't say, I didn't give him a big I told you so. It's the last thing he needed to hear. But
yeah.
I saw that coming a mile away. And to me, if somebody is continuously, well, I can do this, or I do this, or I get away with this. If you're continuously doing a lot of that kind of stuff, you're probably running your business so loosely and so sloppily, you're not going to last anyhow. So at the end of the day, those people want to sit and argue with you, but Nikki, I can do it because whatever, they won't be in the game 5 years from now,
Yeah. And that's another thing, these people that speed down the road Yeah, they made it to work without that speeding ticket, but 2 weeks from now they're going to get a hell of a speeding ticket. You know, I mean, yeah, you get away with it for a while, but eventually you are going to get caught. It happens in life. That's just the way it is.
Oh, Jay.
What?
Roosevelt started media mail, not Franklin.
No, it was Ben Franklin who started, wasn't it? Or no, not Ben. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Whatever. One of them was president.
Jason's putting all this in the side chat that you can't. And trying to get you all stirred up, so I'm just rereading it to get him in trouble.
You know, the funniest part about all this is I have no idea what the fuck Smart Post is. I don't use any of those cheap services.
Here's a really good, you know, somebody sent me a couple screenshots, and here's a really good example that somebody said, and I don't know if this is true or not, but the comment was made within that whole entire post, Nikki, that FedEx insurance doesn't kick in until it's in the possession of FedEx. So you
Smart Post doesn't have insurance.
And the Smart Post end of it, you apparently don't get insurance. That's what I was told at one time. I've never verified that. So like I said, I'm just reading whatever. But if that's true and you're skipping the FedEx part of it, then you're sending your crap across the country, you know, banking on there being some insurance, and there's not going to be any. Because FedEx is probably going to look at it and go, well, great, you got a tracking number. Where's our half of the tracking number on that label, you know?
Sorry, what was wrong on the Ben Franklin thing?
You know, I said to myself, that doesn't sound right, so I had to look.
I know. I was one of them old presidents. Shut up. So was it Franklin Roosevelt that did it? Maybe that's where I got the Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin was the first postmaster general in 1775 or 6 or something.
Yeah, one of the
According
one of
to
the old
Wikipedia.
presidents. I think they're right. Roosevelt was the one who started media mail. Sorry. But that's how long media mail's been around. Was my point. I'm not worked up. I'm not upset. You know, I laugh it off. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not angry. I've got way more things in life to worry about than what somebody on Facebook said about me. Because if I got so worked up about what people on Facebook said about me, oh my gosh, I wouldn't be able to run my life. I'd be sitting in a corner in the fetal position, sucking my thumb.
In the old rubber room.
Yeah, I got way more things to worry about than worry about that. And plus, I've got so many.
This Smart Post thing, though, is that something they're actually printing from the eBay shipping labels? Is that an option?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay, because I never really noticed it. It's in there.
And I wish I'd been selling something recently so I could, because I do ship out Smart Posts occasionally, and I really wish that I had a package that was printing Smart Posts so I could take a screenshot of the screen where it says, "Hey, don't drop this off or only drop it off at a FedEx location." But I've been on vacation for the last few months. I haven't been doing much shipping lately.
That's
because I know what I'm doing and I know how to run my business is why I have been able to take time off.
Right, exactly.
Well, you're also not shipping because you fucking can't ship out fucking scoreboards that are like 10 by 10.
That locally.
Must be F-bomb Wednesday.
Oh.
I almost sold my bidet too on somebody on Craigslist, but they didn't want to pay shipping for it.
Oh boy.
I almost sold it for $250, so paid $20 for it.
Gotta love those.
Somebody out there will pay for it.
Yeah.
Really and truly, at $250, I should have said, I'll ship it to you for free because I've only got $20 into it. I would have made $120 on it. If I would have shipped it out. So that wasn't really smart of me either, but that's all right. I'll wait it out. It'll sell. It was funny. My husband, he went and saw his friend in Oklahoma City, and he was asking what I did and stuff, and my husband told him, and he goes, "So what kind of stuff do you sell?" I said, "Oh, anything and everything that'll make me some money." And he's like, "Well, what kinds of things?" I said, "Well, you want to buy a bidet?" He goes, "You sell a bidet?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You will sell anything, won't you?" I said, "I'd sell you if you sat there long enough."
Yeah.
You know, I had a package yesterday that was Smart Post was going to be $1 cheaper. It was like $11.05 or it was like $12.15. $12.15 if I did it just regular FedEx home delivery, and I paid the extra $1.10 or whatever, and did it that way because it's Smart Post is typically takes several days longer. Why make my customer wait for me to cheap out over $1? I think that's another problem too. People get in this business, they don't understand it all, and they just click that button and go, "What's the cheapest way that I can ship it?" And they don't look at the service time or what they're providing to their customers as far as delivery times, and you know, they put dollars before, you know, building up a reputation and building up a good eBay store and a good eBay account. You know, quit trying to be cheap and always save a nickel here or there, you know, by cheating a little bit or doing this or using a service that's going to save you $1 when it's going to take 3 days longer, especially with 4th of July coming up. If I'd have done that and it was going to California, that might have made the difference between, you know, if the post office, what are they taking off this year? 4th of July, probably only just the 4th.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, because it's Tuesday. So,
you know, my package delivery could have fallen to where that, not only because of the 4th, it wouldn't have got delivered. It might have kicked it out 2 more days, you know.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Very possible.
You end up with an unhappy customer, but guess what? You saved $1, you know.
Is it the same thing as parcel post, or like
pretty much?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like UPS SurePost. It's exactly the same thing as what UPS has called SurePost, and they've had it for years. And basically, the carriers teamed up with the postal service, both FedEx and UPS, and they said, "Hey, we'll take the package." I think like with FedEx, they have 25 or 30 hubs that handle these, and they take it to, if I mail a package from here to Walla Walla, Washington, they're probably, and I do it through Smart Post, the FedEx is going to take it from Huntsville, Alabama to whatever the nearest hub is in Washington, probably like Seattle, the nearest Smart Post hub. They're going to take it there. They're going to hand it off along with a bunch of other Smart Post packages to the post office, who's going to get in no hurry because the parcel level at that point becomes parcel post, and they're going to take it what they call the final mile or the final delivery. They're not going to get in any hurry over it because they're not getting paid a whole lot. It's treated as parcel post, which blows. I mean, do you remember parcel post, Jason? I mean, it used to be decent back in the
that I remember. Is it still around? Do they still even have a parcel post?
Yeah, but it's usually more expensive. It's usually more it's more expensive, and B, it's slow as Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I stopped using that stuff, all the slower stuff, like years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a disservice to your customers, really.
Well, most of the time, I just have it on there as the preferred way I mail something, just so that I can over deliver. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Rather than under deliver. So that's something that's decent, you know. I will pick it apart left and right, but then when they get it, they're like, "Wow, this is way better than I thought it was going to be." You know.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like, you know, if you're sending something that way, I mean, it must weigh a few pounds. Otherwise, first class would be the obvious way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
But sometimes on like the main things that I use Smart Post on are the things that are over in dimensional weight, that are way over in the big stuff.
Oh,
because
big stuff.
Usually that big stuff will be way cheaper Smart Post than it would be through sending it through the post office.
Oh, the post office must really love that then, if it's big packages.
Yeah. So, but lately I have been noticing that, because sometimes it used to be cheaper, way. I mean, like to send smart post with heavy stuff also, things that are over 4 or 5 pounds that don't fit in a priority box or a flat rate box. And it used to be a lot cheaper to send it that way. But now lately I've noticed that it's actually sometimes just as cheap or even cheaper to send it through the post office. So I don't know if the post office is stepping up their games or if FedEx is just, you know, too big for their britches and they're starting to charge more or what. I don't know. But
oh, good Lord.
Is there a weight limit on that category?
For what?
I think it's
Smart post?
Smart post is like 70 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a weight limit.
70 pounds.
I think it's 70, yeah.
No, because sometimes we'll have something that would be too big. I'd have to ask Jim. And it has
maximum length and girth is 130 inches. I'm just reading. This is off the FedEx website, so if it's wrong, it ain't on me. You didn't hear it.
Just because of the disclaimer.
It wasn't me. Don't get me in the middle of all this. I think at the end of the day, though, if I heard somebody, whoever it was on YouTube or a Facebook group or whatever, just continually giving out like information that seems sketchy and seemed like, okay, well maybe you can do that, but whatever. Me personally, that's like not who I would probably want to hang out with business wise. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, and it's like I've always said, you know, if I don't know something about a subject, I'll just tell you, I don't know, you know.
Me too.
FedEx Smart Post, I don't know what the official answer is. I don't know. But I can tell you that for me, from a business standpoint, you're paying for a faster service and then you're going to drop it off the wrong place so you can get the crappy service. I mean, that just doesn't make, you know, run your business right. Quit being lazy. I don't care if your FedEx is 50 miles down the road. You know what? Then don't use that service. Then don't use that service if that's an issue of dropping it off.
Until today, I forgot this was even an option.
What's an auction? Oh, option. I thought you said auction. So no, like that.
I wish.
Digest Life said, I never use Smart Post. Slow, and if there's a problem, they both point fingers and blame each other. Hard to claim insurance. It's kind of like I pay every month to rent a cable modem from Comcast because for years, I kept trying to bring my own equipment, whatever, and every time it wouldn't work, Comcast would blame it on Linksys and tell me to call in, and you get Linksys, and they'd say, well, you need to call your cable provider or whatever. I got tired of that finger pointing. So I just was like, screw it, I'll pay this $6 a month and rent your equipment. And then when I call you, you can't blame it on anything. I mean, we can track. Hell, let's have show and tell, except I'm not actually going to show because it'll show my customers' information. Shipping labels. Let's see what I've done Smart Post lately, if anything. Last 7 days. Control, find, smart. I did one last week, maybe. Control, find. FedEx Smart Post.
I mean, I guess I could see using that service if, like, you sell like a really cheap item and people just don't want to pay shipping, because it's such a cheap thing, I guess.
Well, it's like the tape that I ordered. That's probably why that company did it, because they were selling that tape so dadgum cheap. I mean, that was probably, I would think, unless they just got pallets of tape for free, I think their margins were so thin that they had to use whatever was the most affordable,
Right. I remember that tape took forever.
Like 8 days to come from Ohio. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, I said something FedEx.
It was bad.
Huh?
You know it was bad because you kept saying it like every day. It was like burned into my head. When is this tape gonna get there? I think.
Something. Here's a good example of why I shouldn't have sent it smart. I said something Smart Post on June the 8th. It went to San Francisco, California, and it got there on June the 16th. So it took 8 days. FedEx ground to California, I think it's only 5 days or home delivery. So, you know, the person that ordered that had to wait. I don't know what that item was, but they had to wait longer than they should have.
And, you know, it probably takes the true 8 days too. I bet it like holds itself up somewhere till it gets delivered on that last day.
It will. I have had when I worked for FedEx, there's a lot of times that I worked for FedEx Freight, where we drove the semis, but a lot of times we had to hold things up because they were moving too fast through the system. There were lots of times we had to hold stuff at the terminal because we were going to deliver them way too fast than what the service said.
Right.
That is an actual rule. Yeah.
So
that probably has something to do with
to,
what's going on with mine.
I tried to print a shipping label just now to SmartPost, and you have to be in the FedEx carrier section.
Yeah.
So if you're in the FedEx carrier section, I think it would make sense
it's a FedEx service. It's not a post office service. It's a FedEx service.
Oh, okay. So what the fuck is the argument all about?
Thank you.
Jack Smack said, "Yeah, 8 days. That's a negative waiting to happen." And I remember what I clicked on it to see what the item was. I remember what the item was. It was that was actually the day before we went on vacation. So it was literally I was trying to get stuff out the door. It wasn't a smart move, but apparently that's the only FedEx Smart Post I've sent in the last 30 days because I just searched all my shipping labels. You know, and I don't use it that often. I tell you where I will sometimes skimp a little bit on service levels is if I have something going to global shipping program, because for me, from here to Kentucky is not that far, and they're going to take their sweet ass time, and they take all I have to do is show quick delivery to there, and they're going to take their sweet ass time getting it overseas anyhow when they, you know, reship it out and all that. So yeah, sometimes I'll use Smart Post or something like that on heavier stuff to go from here to global shipping. And it still ends up getting there in 2 or 3, 4 days. But Jack said, "You got to think, though. I'm used to dealing with Amazon customers. Any little thing that can go wrong, I want to try to avoid it." That was probably the biggest thing for us. The minute we started doing Amazon, my mentality, and I've always kind of jokingly called it eBay mentality, but it's kind of true. When you're having to deal with Amazon customers, it's amazing how much your standards go up, and then you end up doing everything else in your business on the eBay end. You end up kind of upping your game over there, and I personally saw it help our eBay game. It's one of the best things, but you know, we don't really do much Amazon anymore. So,
also to the comment about how anal FedEx drivers are. Everything with FedEx is time. You got to go. FedEx is very time oriented, and if anything is off, you're screwing up that time because they have everything down to a T, and everything is go with them. I'm actually surprised that there's not more accidents involving FedEx because of this whole rush thing. I mean, FedEx is a great company. I love FedEx. I would never say anything bad about FedEx because when I worked for FedEx, I was treated like a queen. And even when I got hurt on the job, they still treated me like a queen. And so I would never say anything bad about FedEx. But I'm really surprised at how few accidents there are because of this, because everything is time, go all the time. And you notice, you see the USPS mail carriers drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes and stuff, but you don't see FedEx delivery drivers sitting around talking and chit-chatting, you know.
All the FedEx delivery people are always on the rush because they're
go.
They usually they're kind of subcontracted, like they own their own trucks and everything.
Yep.
And,
yeah.
You know, they got the more packages they do, the more money they make.
Well, that too, but yeah, FedEx is all about time.
Home delivery is subcontracted.
Oh, is it home delivery? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Everything but freight. Everything but freight is subcontracted.
Not the regular drivers.
The only people that don't own their own trucks are freight. All the ground drivers and everything own their own trucks. Or people own the trucks and hire contracted drivers. There are people that own multiple trucks, but they hire drivers to drive their trucks outside of FedEx.
I prefer DHL.
DHL. I think that's international only now, right?
Go around.
Yeah. I remember one time somebody that likes to argue about everything told me one time, yeah, you know who's giving FedEx a run for their money? I said, who? They said DHL. I was like, what?
They tried and they went back broke doing it.
DHL isn't in the same category.
For overseas, though, DHL is awesome.
Yeah, I hear it's really good. That, and I've used EMS shipping a lot, you know, for receiving packages, and you know, fast service, boy.
Yeah, I sent some stuff overseas using DHL once, and it got there really quick.
Yeah, I order parts from Japan sometimes, and if I request EMS service, it gets here like 2-3 days. Quick. And their tracking is great.
And one thing I never understood about FedEx was all those drivers that drive those trucks, the smaller trucks that have packages 50 pounds or less, they all have extra drivers helping them out. But the freight drivers who are lifting pallets, you know, unloading pallets of stuff at businesses by hand, we don't get help. We're just one man shows.
Aren't you just dropping off at a loading dock?
Sometimes, but sometimes, yeah. Like I used to go deliver at a golf course where they didn't have a dock, and I had to unload bazillion boxes of golf balls, and I couldn't park anywhere close to the building because some of the rich people didn't like the semi being there, so I had to park like a half a block away and haul them all in.
I don't know. Every time I've had freight service, if you don't have a dock, you have to get lift gate, and really the driver is just responsible, from what I understand, just dropping it off right where the truck is.
You have to drop it off at the door, in the door. It has to be dropped off in the door. And then I used to deliver at a bank where I had to unload big cases of reams of paper, and I had to go down these stairs, through a hallway, down another set of stairs, and deliver them there. So, yeah, whether they're paying for that extra service, I'm assuming that's what it is. But yeah, sometimes freight drivers are hoping it.
I remember once I was on vacation and I was in Salem, Massachusetts, and it was like all this section with just cobblestone area, and there was no like real street, and the truck had to park really far away. And they had these custom carts that the guy pulled out the back. Yeah, it was pretty neat. So I had to tools and stuff.
At the mall has all kinds of dock areas, but I had to hand unload all JCPenney catalogs and haul them in too. On my dolly. Yeah. Because they didn't pay for liftgate service, so, you know. That was one time when UPS showed up, and I'm unloading I'm sweating like a son of a gun. It was like 90 degrees outside, and I'm unloading all these stupid JCPenney catalogs, boxes of them. And the UPS driver's laughing at me. They're like, why don't you get another driver to help you? I says, we don't get two drivers. We're not working like you. It was a laugh, a joke between a couple of us. I mean, it wasn't attacking them or anything. They took it as a joke, but.
Did you have to wear like a FedEx uniform?
Yeah. Which it was okay because FedEx uniforms look way better than UPS. Actually, being a woman truck driver, I used to have a lot of people. They would actually be on my other companies' representative, trying to get me to come and work for their company on my customers' docks. I'd be like, why would I come work for you? This is totally bad business. You're on my customer's dock trying to get me to come work for you. What are you, crazy? I'm going to work for you. It's just bad business. Yeah. But because I'm a woman, they wanted me to come work for them, you know.
Oh, yeah. Meet that quota.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention my perfect driving record.
Mm-hmm. Because your van never moves, you just sit in it.
Up on cinder blocks.
My van's broken.
I know we should get it fixed. It makes me unhappy.
I know.
For you, because I miss the van.
Well, now I told my husband, I said, well, now you got your damn truck. I suppose you're never going to fix my van.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to have to drive to Texas and buy myself a new van.
Oh. As far as I know, he never did. I missed something. What's Jack talking about?
That was dropped off.
Ouch. Ouchie, ouchie. Ouchie, ouchie.
You should start doing your videos from the from his truck and see how fast he gets the van fixed.
That's what I told him. I'm going to start driving his truck.
There you go. So y'all got any plans for today?
Pardon?
Any?
Do you all have any plans for today?
I got to go pee. I'll be right back.
That's Nikki's plan.
I got a list of stuff I bought yesterday.
Oh, got a lot of stuff?
Not a lot, but I got some cool stuff. Got a couple pair of Harley boots.
All right.
Nice.
Got some vintage radios. I got some that's really cool. I think it's really cool.
I went and drank PBR last night.
Yes, we know.
So Jim couldn't go. It was me and Scott, and I'm like, let's check out this little place I found. It's like out kind of in the middle of nowhere, sort of ish, and it's like a family restaurant, but then it's a bar at night. Like after 9 o'clock at night, they only allow 19 and up or whatever. And they got pool tables, and I was like, all the reviews on their food are really good. And we walk in, it's like $2.25 PBR, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Wait,
What
hold on.
is that, Eric?
Eric's about to pick up trash on the highway. Hold on.
No. I am a professional. Let's see, where's it at? Where's it down?
Witch trenchers.
So that's kind of awesome. You should wear that.
Yeah, it's not fitting my fat butt, that's for certain.
Well, that'll make it even more exciting if it doesn't fit.
I think it's like $100 pair of coveralls, though. The jackets are like $70. And I got like 4 pair of boots. 2 of them are Harley. 2 of them are just regular hunting boots. I got some military clothing, ski bag, a JanSport gym bag, some hunting jackets that should do well. So I mean, I figured it's going to be. I spent $40, so it's going to probably end up being $700 or $800 by the time I'm done.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It seems like everyone in the audience is upset that we're talking about reselling stuff today. It's too serious, apparently.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about going out and buying a car today. So.
Oh.
Have you decided what you're going to get?
Well, I've been looking for a Mustang, but I can't find any in the price range that I want. So I've kind of decided I'm going to pick up a Lexus SC300. It's a little sports coupe.
Ooh, the SC's a fun cars.
I'd get one of those.
I like the motor and transmission in it. You know, the body's a little rougher than I really wanted, but it's not terrible. But
why are you rushing to get something?
I'm not rushing. I'm just deciding now. I mean, I've been looking for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, did the guy pick up the Miata?
Oh, yeah, that sold last week. Paid for and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, and what I like about the Lexus is it's got a straight six rear wheel drive motor. I mean, it's really kind of a nice little vehicle. It's actually a Toyota motor in it too. So.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Hi, Sally.
Hi.
You made it.
Yeah, barely.
All right. Well, we're going to call it a day, guys. Everyone have a great day.
Yeah, screw you too, Jason. You're the one that's usually here the last 10 minutes of the show, so shut up.
Tiffany actually had a legitimate question.
Tiffany asked, how long does the transaction defect rate affect? How long does the transaction, dadgummit, it scrolled off, defect rate affect you? Is it monthly or every 12 months?
Our transaction defect is 12 months.
Unless you do enough volume, I'm on 3 months.
Yeah, you have to do serious volume.
Well, I don't do serious volume, but I mean, because I was looking it up when she asked that, and mine says transaction period April 1st to June the 30th.
Yeah, but you do volume. You do a lot of packages. I mean, both me and you do a lot of low dollar packages as well, but you do a lot of packages.
Like volume, quantity wise, yeah.
Yeah, quantity pack. Not talking dollars. It's about how many packages you ship. So most people are 12 months, but if you do, it's probably something over 250 packages a month or something like that. I mean, Jason, I think is on the same thing.
Yeah.
He's in 3 months.
I'm evaluating 12 months.
Oh, you're on the 12 month?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean, it's just a matter of how many packages you ship.
Where do you see it again? I'm sorry. Let me just
sellers with 400 or more transactions. I couldn't remember what it was. This is off of eBay's page, so this is true. Didn't hear it from the postal lady. Sellers with 400 or more transactions over the past 3 months are evaluated based on the past 3 months, and sellers with fewer than 400 transactions are evaluated based on the past 12 months.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I am on the 3 months. Yeah. My bad.
So it's not a big deal. I mean, as long as you don't have many screw ups. I mean, I've got a defect on mine I couldn't find an item I sold, so I took the defect on it. It rolls off in October or September, something like that. It doesn't really affect anything.
Well, it kind of sucks though on the 3 month things. I remember when I got kicked, when we really ramped our volume up and I got kicked over to that. It kind of sucks because it makes your defects look a whole lot worse than what they actually are. Whereas if you diluted it with 12 months, it would look.
Yeah, it kind of waters it down.
Yeah.
That's
something that I got evaluated on every 12 months. Well, now I guess I'm every 3 months on April, June. Top rated.
Yeah, top rated usually takes you, if it's a small screw up, you can usually get it back if you're doing enough volume in a month or two, but it can take a while if you don't do enough volume.
Yeah. I had that screw up. I'm at like above standard right now because I had a friend buy like 20 something items and it didn't go in as local pickup and it should have. And I had 20 something hits.
For items not shipped on time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I called eBay and they were like, no, we can't fix that for you. Because apparently you need to choose local pickup when the actual person is checking out. They need to choose local pickup.
Yeah. I just
so I got hit with like 20
well, I find it fascinating that I sold my car on eBay, but they only give me credit for the deposit for my sales numbers. I find that weird. I mean, it's not like I mean, are they going to do every local pickup thing if you do it as a deposit? I didn't know they did it that way. Did you make up your mind and get out of there?
No.
down. Lay down. Oh. But yeah, that was just like interesting.
Yeah, apparently it's because I always just manually select local pickup, but apparently what you really need to do is have local pickup as one of your options.
Yeah.
Available when you're making the listing, and then that person buying it has to choose that. That's what they told me, and I was on the phone with them for quite a bit.
And I don't do that on my listings. I don't enable local pickup, but I mean I probably should, but I just don't want to get that guy that says, "Hey, I live in Columbus, Ohio. I'll just swing by and pick it up. Save you some money." And I'm like, "No, thank you. I'll just ship it to you."
Oh, I always get that on like a 3-pound item, and it's like, you know what? No offense, but I've already factored in the shipping. I mean, I don't actually say this to them, but it's going to cost me $6.50 to get it to you, and my time is worth a lot more than $6.50 to go, meet you down the road. And can y'all hear me since I came back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I only do local pickup for big items normally, but this is a good friend of mine, so
I did it with I did it with with a picture, or was it 2 pictures? I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 or whatever here recently. And the lady is like, "Can I pick it up locally?" I'm like, "Sure." And then I hear nothing from her. I tried the number. I asked her for contact info. I get nothing. I can't get a hold of her. And we were on our way out of town, and I was like, "Okay, this sucks." Like, I'm getting getting nailed on it. I'm already going to take the defect hit, and I want this lady to have her item. And so I looked up where she worked and just stopped by and walked in the door. It was a mortgage company, and their conference room had a glass thing or whatever. And there's all these people looking at me. I'm like, "Hey." And the lady comes out. She said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, is Mary Smith here or whatever." She said, "That's me." I said, "This is going to sound crazy, and I hate to do this, but I'm on my way out of town. I haven't heard from you in 4 or 5 days, but you bought something from me on eBay, a picture or whatever." She's like, "Yeah." And I said, "I really wanted to make sure you got it, and I am sorry if I looked up your address, though. It shows me your address where I was supposed to ship it to." And she goes, "Oh, that's no problem. Come on, let's go get it." And she paused for a minute, came down to my car and got it, and we had a great talk. And she collects other stuff that I'm going to keep an eye out for. And but normally I hate, it's normally the really small items, and they're like, "Can I come? I see you live locally. Can I come?" And it's not worth my time.
No.
$14.99 free shipping item.
Well, I sold an item to a lady yesterday, and she hits me with the take your time. After she paid this little message in there, "Take your time with shipping. I'm going on vacation through July 9th. And I'm like, "Well, I've already packed it up, but I got to ship it out. I'm not taking a defect because you decided you're going to go on vacation. It can sit in your doorway. I don't really care."
Tell one of your neighbors to get it.
Yeah.
My father-in-law when we went to the lake a couple weekends ago, I mean, we needed him up there the day we were checking into the little cabin to help, do the grocery shop and figure out who was coming to visit and what we needed for food. And he was waiting on a package that was supposed to come to his house. And I'm like, just have a neighbor get it. It's going to be fine, Well, it may rain and it may sit out there in the rain and blah, blah. I'm like, your porch is covered. It's going to be fine. It was coming through Amazon. If it gets wet, gets stolen, then you call Amazon and, they send you. No, I hate to say it. I mean, it's kind of the wrong way to do it because it would have been his fault. But he's like, "Well, yeah, my neighbor could get it, but what if they forget?" And he stayed at home for like 6 extra hours waiting on this package.
Yeah, I just found an interesting thing about, I always complain about my mail route because it's a walking route. Well, it turns out it's also a training route. That's why I never have the same mailman more than a week, and I get somebody else.
Oh man.
Yeah, one of my neighbors brought me some of my mail today, which was really important. It's the water meter company wants to come in and change the meter, which I don't really care about, but they're like, "If you don't call and make arrangements, we'll turn your water off." I'm like, well, that would have been a nice letter not to get,
Yeah, Jack Smack said you mentioned you can do mail hold, and I did a mail hold while we were in Florida a couple of weeks ago, and it was literally a matter of logging into my USPS account, the same one where you order your priority boxes, so it already knew my address. Clicked on mail hold, said, "Yeah, start bringing everything back on the 17th or whatever date I had picked," and didn't have any problem. And we got home from vacation, and there's a giant wad of mail in our mailbox, along with the hold pickup thing or whatever, where they started.
You have a package store mailbox, right?
I do, but we still get regular mail here.
Right, right.
Like really the only thing, like all Amazon and eBay is all registered to the mailbox store. That way, if I have returns or whatever, I don't have to worry about package on my front porch. And if we know we're going out of town and I'm ordering something off of Amazon, for instance, you know, something we need, but we don't necessarily need for the trip, I'll look at when the estimated delivery is. If it's going to cut it too close and it's going to be, you know, sitting possibly on my front porch and, you know, I'll just have it sent down there because they'll hold it, you know, hold stuff indefinitely at the mail store. And that's one of the reasons it's really, to me, it's worth the $125 a year that we pay to have that service.
Absolutely. Especially, I mean, I get a lot of packages that need to be signed for, and I'm never frigging around, you know?
And they'll sign for everything for you. Yeah. It's awesome.
I've had, this was a couple of years ago, but I've had people ask me to hold packages for them, hold off on shipping, and I haven't gotten defect for it because they asked me to do it.
Well, back in the day, there weren't defects for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, cool.
And you can call. And if they see that within the communications, you know, they can. Don't let me interrupt you.
Right.
They can, you know, take those off. I think they only take them off every Thursday or something, which is really weird that eBay does that crap. But you know what I've done too is explain. You know, I had a guy that was like, "Please wait a month to ship this" or whatever, and I just wrote back and explained. You know, eBay wants to see tracking immediately. You know, not a big problem, but I'm going to let you know that I'm going to have to go ahead and mail you the bill of sale. You know, I have to show a tracking number or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, okay, I understand." And so I just spend the $2.60 and mail them a bill of sale or invoice, whatever you want to call it. I'm so not awake yet.
I mean, it doesn't happen very often. So if it happens, I usually just take the hit just because.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot to get that number down. Like I said, I have over 20-something from that one guy. So, and even with those 20-something, it only brought me down to like, I'm just short. I'm like 94%, if I remember right. And that's with 20-something hits, you know? So it really takes a while, I guess, depending on your volume of how it will affect your account.
And I've done that too. It just really depends. I think the one time that the guy wanted me to wait like 3 weeks or whatever it was, I mean, it was a more expensive like piece of artwork, or it was actually a couple pieces of rolled up art prints. And so I didn't mind doing it. You know, he spent $200 and I ate $2.60 to mail him an invoice, you know, just so that I'd show some tracking. Because I would have got dinged on too on that one. But yeah, I agree with you. If you look at your metrics and they're okay, you know.
Yeah, I don't have any late shipments in the last year. So if I had to take 3 or 4, I'd be fine. I mean, because I know I can suffer something. You can hit like 10 or 20 of those things before you really get nailed if you have do decent volume.
But that's why there's a percentage, because eBay knows there's going to be issues or slip-ups, even if it's not, you know, that are out of your hand. That's why it's not. There's a scale to it.
Something like that. I mean, there's lots of things that can cause you to be late.
Sure.
Trains.
What?
You pull the train?
Train cars. I had like 16 or 17 of them, and I sold a lot of 8 for plus, well, 25 altogether.
That's cool.
Nice.
I got them for free. So.
I could see your face on one of the Thomas the Train things.
See this.
If you're a train, you have no arms.
This train does, damn it.
You You know what's funny is I have the Yahoo side, up on the side chat, and there's a delay of like 20 seconds, and I saw you give me the finger twice.
Why don't you pop the chat out and then close that window?
I like looking at it.
I do too. I know you can pop the chat out, but I leave it open. I guess. Yeah. I don't know, force the habit to see if it's stuck. Make sure it's not stuck on me or something.
Well, I know, because I get a window this big and my eyes suck so bad. I really need the full screen. So.
Well, remember, I'm working with that stupid big screen, so it'd just be a big blank piece of white.
Like 7,000-inch monitor there. I mean. Monitor's big enough. He actually has like 4 monitors on it in one time.
I got the whole Xfinity package on here. I'm watching you guys in like 4 sports games right now.
Digest Live said, Dusty, change your handling time for the item for 30 to 30 days for that buyer, and you're safe. The problem is you can't do that after they've already bought it.
Yeah, they never tell you they need a delay until after they bought it, and you're like,
or they give you specific directions on how you need to, like, that always cracks me. Like the guy the other day bought a little bitty tiny item. He bought it because I went back and looked at 3:31 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm sorry, my mail's already run. I'm done for the day, whatever. And then like 10 o'clock yesterday morning, have you not shipped this yet? I expect to have this by Friday, June 30th, whatever. And it's like, really? Like, you just bought it like 12 hours ago. Like, you really, I mean, and I was asking Eric and Jason, I said, is it, and this guy or girl or whatever had been around, they'd member since 2004, 600 feedback or whatever. And I'm like, are people just really that used to bad sellers that they're, they feel like they have to follow? Are there that many bad sellers out there that somebody's really concerned I'm not going to ship it within my advertised time? I was kind of.
Yeah, I mean, weekends you kind of understand. They get a little freaked out if they buy it on a Friday night and then you don't ship it till Monday morning. They're like, "Oh my God, you're stuck." But
I usually don't get any of that, but I do get these ones that are like right after they pay, they put in the notes section, please send over a tracking number when it ships.
Yeah. And what's worse is you look at it, they've got like 1,000 feedback as a buyer.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Don't they know this already?
I've had some people not use the eBay system for mailing their packages. Tracking number then.
You get people who buy that low dollar, very light item. They want to mail it in a post envelope. They never put tracking on it. I get that, but.
I remember I caught a little bit of flack when I was selling those Geo coin things, because apparently in that category, that was really common practice, was for sellers in that category to just tape the little coins to a piece of paper and stick them in an envelope and mail them free for 36 cents or what I don't know what stamp is, 49 cents, whatever. And I got so many people, making $3 offers, and I would just reply back, if they keep it up, I would just, normally I just counter, I wouldn't say anything, but if they keep it up, I'd be like, listen, it's going to cost me $2.60 to mail it. And they're like, well, how does everybody else sell it for $3? I'm like, and then it was a chance to kind of educate my customer, but not to go to, I'm not going to go to any great lengths and spend a lot of time, but I'm like, in order to maintain my top-rated seller status, I am required to have tracking on all my packages.
Yep.
And those other sellers, probably don't do enough volume that they don't care about that status. And they were like, oh, okay. There's just a nice way to do it without.
I think you should have taken every one of those packages and changed the last digit of their address and say, yes, I changed the last digit. It's up to you to track your coins down. So you actually had the thrill of finding them.
But I mean, I think that's commonplace. I don't know what the hell I'm standing up for. I think that's commonplace in that particular category that there's a lot of sellers doing it. So it's kind of become conditioned to the people buying these things. And it was a chance for me to say, you know, but if you want to make an offer and going to make offers like that on more than one, I'll only have to pay one shipping charge. So that makes a big difference. You know, then I'm able to accept lower offers. Because they're all
that's why I do best offer on things I really don't want to lower the price on. But I have a mass quantity of, because I want somebody to come in and buy 10 or 20 at a time.
Right.
You know, I don't have to accept an offer that's cheap. I mean, if they come back and say, I've got stuff that's like $6, $6.30 or something like that, and I sell them by the pair, and I can ship them for $2.60. So I'm still making money when I sell them, but it's like I want somebody to come in and offer me $5 for 5 of them, because I'm still going to get them out of first class. I mean. But when are you leaving for California, Val?
I leave Monday.
Are you taking your laptop
and I'll be
to the show every morning from California?
No, I'm not going to do the show.
Sally's taking over.
I'm gonna do the show.
Oh Lord.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I could do it on my channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hard for you, as you be working and everything. So
You don't have to do 2-hour shows. If you can only do an hour, you do an hour. If you fall asleep at your desk, you know, we'll just we'll start yelling at you to, hey, you know, or set an alarm or something so you can wake back up to turn it off.
All right.
Spend an hour making fun of you as you sleep.
Or we'll just have really long shows every day.
I could just sleep on camera like Nikki.
I heard about that.
Some people like to see stuff like that.
Hey.
It's like a thing.
We're always talking about we're being real. Well,
And then she's like, I was not asleep. I was watching y'all on my phone. And we're all like, okay.
No, you were not.
Yeah, I love the, I answered you. No, you didn't. Well, in my mind, I did.
I did. I thought I did. Because when I'm like dozing off like that, not really sleeping, but kind of dozing off, I can still hear you guys. And I'm thinking I'm answering you guys. You know what I mean?
That's called a dream, Nikki. That's when
Yeah.
She's still denying.
Sleep.
Doesn't that count?
I've done a lot of traveling and a lot of moving around in the last couple of weeks. I am pooped. I am so pooped right now. I can't even. Yesterday I slept half my birthday away.
Nikki, you're the kind of person that if you're asleep in front of the TV and somebody turns the TV off, you wake up screaming you were watching that, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I was
I'm like that too. I do that too.
Don't worry, Nick. He'll be awake tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is Smart Post again.
Oh my God. I think we've all had our fill of smart folk. Smart.
You guys talk about that this morning?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was
in depth.
Some idiot brought it up.
well. I have to say,
since I missed it, I don't understand why people don't pay attention to what the damn screen says when you buy the Smart Post label.
Exactly.
I don't get that.
My takeaway from the whole entire thing was, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. You're taking a service that's already pretty damn slow anyhow, and by taking the FedEx aspect out of it, you're going to kick it even slower. So it's just a bad business practice to begin with.
I stopped shipping Smart Post after I received the Smart Post item, and I realized how long.
My tape?
It was mine was the same thing. My tape, and I kid you not, the tape I ordered was 3 hours from here. It was from a seller that lives 3 hours from here in the same state I'm in. It took 6 days for me to get my tape.
Oh my gosh.
I could have drove there and back.
Wow.
So yeah, so once I realized how long that thing sits in the Smart Post sorting center, because it's a special center, I stopped shipping Smart Post. That's all I'm going to say.
And that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
Okay, Paul.
Like a box of chocolates.
You don't save
Let's
that much
just-
money.
Let's talk about Greyhound delivery.
So what's next? Fast nickel, slow dime. I mean, what,
That's what I said. You know, I might as well start. Well,
Stab
then,
you with the
oh,
eye of
I
my
know.
pen.
We were talking
How
about
about
free
that?
shipping versus charging. That's the best one.
Red door, blue door.
Oh yeah, the free shipping.
Why
Do
did
y'all
the
hear
dogs
that?
don't want to hear it either.
Is your
What
mailman?
is that?
Those are the dogs.
Oh
When
my
the train
god.
goes by, they do this howling thing
Oh my god.
every time.
Let me tell you, with the free shipping and the paid shipping, me and Eric are like two rams, like bucking.
Yeah. That's what I said in chat last night. I said, Jesus, now I've got everybody riled up. Maybe I should start talking about free shipping versus paid shipping.
Are you in the trunk, Nikki?
Am I in the what?
Are you in the trunk?
No.
No, she's in the. Her husband will let her in the cab of the truck, so she's in the back riding in the with the cap on it. So.
I'm in the car.
Jack Smack says, I heard free shipping changes the color of your door and the speed of your smart closed.
Oh, freaking great. That's funny as shit.
Why did my
That is good.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun to sit there. It's amazing to me to sit, when the rules are written out. The rules are there to be done, and I think Dusty hit a right thing. Is follow the rules, and you got no problems.
Right.
And don't base and we were talking about that earlier. Don't base your entire business and your business practices on what the lady at the post office told you. Because 9 times out of 10, they're very undereducated as far as their own policies. And don't base it off a Facebook group. Just that post alone and the screenshots that I saw from Nikki's post from that group or whatever. I mean, good Lord, I've never seen so many differences of opinion on whether or not you can use Smart Post or not. So don't base it on that. To me, common sense says you're paying for a service that's taking this from point A to point B through FedEx and then last mile by the post office, but you're going to skip half the service you're paying for.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
And what's worse is
not to mention
they have that deal set up is because that way the post office isn't paying for that extra package to go onto their plane, which it may not get there very fast. I mean, that's what the FedEx part is for. It's just
right. Not to mention when you're shipping it, you're shipping the label on the FedEx tab. You're not shipping it on the post office tab.
True. I mean, and I think the other thing I took away from all those, because I said I didn't really join in because I'm not a joiner, I'm a lurker. But on the chat last night was all those people were basing their whole business on how to shortcut everything.
Yep, and that's the same people. That's the same people that ultimately, what I found, are going to have a really tough time. Are going to end up, like with Amazon. Everybody I never knew back when Amazon FBA became big that took shortcuts ended up suspended.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It was really, really some rude comments back on that too. I couldn't believe how awful they were to her.
Wait, what's amazing is people get very upset when you call them out on their bad practices.
Yes.
Because they haven't been officially called out by FedEx or post office or anything like that. So they think they're right when they know they're really wrong, but they know it's a shortcut.
Well, one guy did say this morning said he apologized for the way he talked to me because my post sounded like I was calling everybody cheaters and blah blah blah. My intention was not to call people cheaters except for the people that are truly cheating the system, and I was calling out the advanced sellers who first of all should know better, and I was calling out the advanced sellers who are YouTube creators that are actually going on saying that I should send it FedEx or take it to a FedEx, but I don't have to because my post office will take it, and so I'm not going to put in that extra step.
And that right
there is cheating the system. And I was not calling everybody cheaters because some people just don't know. And that was why I made the post in the first place, was so that people who are newer to the business are not listening to these advanced sellers who they think should know what they're talking about, which they should if they're going to be on there creating videos. And they take everything, all of our viewers and everything take everything we say as word, as gospel. Because they believe we've been around the block, we know what's going on, so they believe what we say. And we owe it to them as a public service, because that's what we are providing. We owe it to our viewers to give them the best information possible, not give them shortcuts to skirt around the system or cheat the system or things like that. My intention was not to hurt anybody's feelings ever. I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. And if I wanted to hurt people's feelings, I would have called out those YouTubers by name.
Yeah.
Which YouTuber?
Yeah. The YouTubers that did it.
And that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem right there. You said advanced sellers that do YouTube. Not everybody that does YouTube knows what the hell they're talking about. But here's the problem with YouTube, and this is what I've discovered, or just watching everything, or about the last 3 years of doing it. If you are charismatic, or you're a pretty face, and if you're charismatic, a very charismatic speaker and a pretty face at the same time, and or funny or whatever, people are going to pay attention to you. They automatically mentally associate that with you know what you're talking about. And so people automatically assume, oh, they have X amount of subs, or oh, they have this, or oh, people are loving their channel. They must know what they're talking about, you know. But they don't do their research. They don't do even their research into the. And this is totally not toward anybody specifically, but I've seen people that came along that did YouTube, and it was just continuously bad information after bad information. So I'm sitting back, and I'm like, wow, do they even know what have they sold that long, you know? And you start adding up the picture, and you're like, no, that's horrible. That's horrible advice. It's obvious they don't know what they're doing, but for some reason they're popular. They're pretty, or they're, you know, they're funny and outgoing and witty and charismatic, and people just need to. I mean, me personally, with anything in life, not just reselling, I want to follow the advice of the guy or girl or whatever that I admire, because I've seen something in them that they're doing that I admire, you know, and it seems to be working. You know, I'm not going to take advice on how to quit smoking from a guy sitting there with a pack of cigarettes in his hand and one hanging out the side of his mouth, you know? That's a horrible analogy. I don't like that. Where the hell did that come from?
You're not going to take advice from someone on how to quit smoking if they never quit smoking. It's hard to. Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's, you know, it's how do you lose a lot of weight if you've never been fat and lost a lot of weight?
Yeah.
You don't understand the struggle. So I mean, but yeah, how do you give advice on anything if you can't walk the walk, you can't talk about it? I mean, we used to do that all the time. You know, when I worked for Ollie's, you know, I was a district manager for loss prevention for them. I had to know how to do everything in the store, because they called me if they had a question. If I didn't know how to do it, then I lose all credibility. So if somebody were to call me up and said, hey, I'm stuck here, what do I need to do? And if I couldn't walk them through the steps to get it fixed, then why would they call me the next time? So, you know, it's about, you know, if you're a bad reseller, you're going to get bad advice. If you're a good reseller, gets bad advice, well, shame on you.
Show enough said, I'm only annoyed by YouTubers who constantly pitch to new resellers, same info over and over. It's reasons like this, though, that they do that. Well, which, I mean, it's a good reason, though, for, you know, for some people that do it, because they see people getting bad information, so they want to make sure that they're getting the good information, you know. So I mean, I understand why they do that, but they shouldn't only pitch, you know, that. They should talk about stuff that you know, the intermediate and advanced sellers are you know, are doing too, you know, things that affect them.
I think the best is when you get, like, today's show's topic was Smart Post, and then you'll get tomorrow some YouTuber will put up a whole thing now on Smart Post.
Oh yeah.
I think that's funny as hell.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're going to do, I mean, you got two different types of reselling videos out there. You got just conversation ones like what we do for the most part. Every now and then we actually talk about something serious. Or you have people that are actually trying to do like a teaching video. If you're going to do
you have some people that just do videos because they want to be seen, and it becomes really obvious because there's no information, and they're putting them out a couple a day or every other, you know.
Yeah, if you're putting out a video every day, you want to be seen. If you're putting out a video once a week or once every couple of weeks about this is what I'm doing right here, this is how I do it, this is why I do it, that's a different type of seller. Those videos are the ones you want to watch. The ones that are pumping out a video every day, if you want them for noise in the background or just because you enjoy looking at boobs or something, that's fine. But watch where you get your advice from.
Jill said actually 3 YouTubers will do videos on it tomorrow. And you know what? And they'll probably have 3 differing opinions. And me, at the end of the day, whether it's like I said, whether it's right or wrong legally or whatever you want to call it, with those smart post thing, it's just dumb. You're essentially handing your package off in the wrong way, skipping the FedEx tracking label, and you're sending it smart post, which is the slowest, or parcel post, or whatever they call it now, which is the slowest class of mail service you could pick to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's horrible.
What's funny is that, we'll probably hear they'll probably do a retraction video saying, oh, they were just kidding or something. I mean, yeah.
Well, one is going to put it on the Q&A.
I was just messing to see how many people actually did their own research on stuff. But that's something else I found too, that like Nikki said she stayed up. She didn't stay up half the night, but she spent half the night researching whatever. What I have found in this business is that people that are willing to take the time to read the domestic mailing manual or go look things up or research it and learn for themselves what's right and wrong. People that like to do research like that versus just posting something in a group and then waiting for the answer that's thrown at the dartboard that you like the most. People that take the time to research and actually read those geeky articles and manuals and stuff like that, those are the people that usually succeed, that I've seen from what I've observed, that usually end up succeeding in reselling because they like doing research.
Yeah. If you don't like doing research, you're not going to do well in this business.
Yeah.
I mean, or you're going to sell, but you're going to miss out on a lot of dollars.
Yeah.
Again, what Sure Enough was saying.
Show enough.
Sorry.
Sure enough.
Sure Enough. I think it's important for people to be, people that like us that have, this forum and other YouTubers. I think it's important for people to be open to, new resellers because, they need that information.
Yes.
And it's going to, in the long run, it's going to benefit us because we're not going to have to pay more fees and stuff for people screwing up, and so we want, we want the newer resellers to learn the right way to do things. And so we don't have to, pick up the extra shit for them, later.
Yep.
I mean,
the whole thing about that.
The wild, wild west of eBay. Oh, sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
Think about it. Every eBay reseller out there is talking to your customer.
Mm-hmm.
And if they screw up and piss off that customer, that's one less customer for us to sell something to.
Yep.
It's all it boils down to.
And that person is going to tell other people also.
Digest Live said, Dusty, don't cheat and drop it off at a USPS because FedEx does not always pick up every day at USPS and you get dinged for shipping. FedEx does not pick up at the post office anyhow. That's not a daily stuff. Yes, they do deliver, and I was listening to y'all talking earlier. There's ways to get things delivered. They obviously, since they do smart post and have a sit, they do interact somewhat. But somebody said something about there's a FedEx drop box outside of my post office. Though, well, yeah, and if you take the time to read on the side of the box, it's for air packages only. Can you put a ground package in those? Yes, absolutely. Will they still send it? Yes, you can, but you're not supposed to. And why not just follow the damn rules?
Yeah.
FedEx, if the FedEx air guy comes and picks up and there's a small ground package in that box, I mean, they're still they're still going to put it in the system. You know, they're not going to just throw it away. So yes, in theory, you could do that, but those are designed for air only. So just follow the rules. And like y'all were talking about with the, you know, it makes it easier on everybody, et cetera, et cetera. And like Nikki's point was, if everybody abuses the smart post system or abuses the, you know, the drop off boxes or whatever, eventually it's going to make everything worse for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I blame a lot of the changes on Amazon on a lot of sellers that were doing that had crappy practices. You know, FBA became the wild, wild west for 2 or 3 years, and there were a lot of people taking advantage of it. I know of one person I don't really talk to anymore, but that would flat out say, I just send it in whatever condition to FBA. If the box is banged up, we can just blame that on what happened at the fulfillment center. I'm still going to send it in as new. Well, you know what? Now all the crap that you're seeing is a result of multiple bad sellers that did crap like that. And now FBA's, for me, is pretty much a, you know, hell, you can't even hardly sell anything on there anymore.
And one of my points is also that when a YouTuber, a well-known YouTuber, who's supposed to be an advanced seller and everybody listens to.
Oh, let me try to guess.
If he or she says that on YouTube, people are going to follow what they say. And here now we've got X amount of people, thousands of people, doing the wrong thing, breaking the rules, not doing it right. So yeah, that's when we end up. I mean, look at how many rules eBay has now. That's all due to because of the wild, wild west of eBay. I mean, there was a lot of bad sellers out there, and I mean, there's still bad sellers out there, but
at the same time,
the eBay and their rules, you know, they're getting rid of some of those bad sellers, and there's always going to be bad sellers that are going to ruin it for the rest of us, but whatever, you know.
But at the same time, if there's that many people that are that, I hate to say clueless, but that would blindly follow advice and not, you know, I've always said, don't take my word for it. If you don't believe me, go look it up. I could be lying to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, if there's that many people that follow that blindly, then it's kind of like throwing starfish back in the ocean. I mean, you're not going to save everybody. And I think you can only make it your mission to a certain extent before you'll just, you know, wear yourself out trying to do it. You know, I can't help those that are going to follow stuff like that. You know what? I wish them the best. I hope they don't end up suspended or end up, you know, having to go get a real job. But if they do, you know, I did what I could do.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's the thing too, this is our business. It's, you know, each own individual business. And if you are questioning the way something is done, or you need to go research.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, you know, go research it for yourself. Go, you know, so if you think it's not right, then go research it. Go figure it out. Go to your post office. You know, I was just going to say, you're not going to take USPS packages to FedEx and drop them off. So why would you take FedEx packages and drop them off at USPS?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really that.
Now, like, take it
dry.
If you work at a grocery store and you see an employee stealing from that grocery store day in and day out or doing the wrong thing, eventually that grocery store is going to go down the tubes, or there's going to be other rules in place that's going to make your work environment horrible. What are you going to do? Sit there and let them continue to do something about it? I don't want this business ruined for reseller because I happen to love doing what I do. It gives me the option to take off for a week and go to Texas, or take off a week and go to New York City. You know, if I had a regular job, I wouldn't have been able to do all that traveling.
Just look at it this way: if everybody does this, and again, I'm assuming it's a very small minority who do this, but eventually Smart Post goes up in price, or they eliminate it altogether.
Mm-hmm, that's what I said.
That's what will happen eventually. So.
Yep. So, you know, do what you want, but I personally enjoy my business, and I don't want it to get ruined by people who can continuously tell thousands of people that it's okay to do it. It's okay to skirt around the system. It's okay to break the rules. No, it's not. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I've never skirted around the rules. You know, when you continuously do stuff like this and tell people to do stuff like this, you know, it's eventually going to affect everybody.
And you're responsible for your own business.
Yeah.
But I think that doing like you did and putting a post somewhere, okay, you've done your part. And if people want to do whatever they can from that point on, you know what, me personally, then that's their problem. You know, that's kind of the way I view it. But there will be people that will go out and I will do a whole, I mean, hell, we've done, of course, this is kind of something we do in our spare time, everybody every morning, and enjoy doing this. So, and I'm working while we're doing it. So I'm being productive. I don't know about everybody else, but you know that there'll be people that will spend extreme amounts of time and energy on trying to correct whatever. And at the end of the day, some people are going to get it and some people aren't. The ones that get it are the ones that are ultimately going to succeed in this business. And you can only do so much or you end up running yourself ragged trying to save the world. You know, there's been a lot of focus lately. YouTube landscape has really changed with resellers recently, as we all know. And there's been a lot of like, we're going to save the world and go after this person. Just put out better content. Just put out, like, do a show like this where we go, hey guys, here's what we believe, you know, whatever. Put out better content and go on. You know, if you want to do a Facebook post about it, go for it. But there's only so many hours in the day. And personally, I feel like a lot of people have too much time on their hands. And that was not directed at anybody. That was just a, you know.
That's the thing too, is, you know, I think sometimes we spend too much time focusing on, and this is everybody, you know, focusing on, you know, Facebook and all that. And sometimes I get tired of Facebook.
Get it? What?
I get tired of Facebook. I get tired of all the comments and everything. And sometimes I just turn it off because to me that's you know, that's taking me away from my business. Those things aren't going to pay the bills, you know. So I got to do whatever I need to do on my end to make sure that things are taken care of. So.
Well, that's one thing to do. And we were talking about this yesterday, a couple of us, but it's one thing, you know, to do occasional videos or shows, or even like this one. This helps a lot of us get up and get going or whatever. But some people just make it their life mission to do a video. Like they have to, like it's the reseller police. You know what I mean? Like, we need to address this in the reselling community. And if you got that much time, you either got one of two things. You either got a God complex.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Or way too much time on your hands, and apparently you don't need the eBay income. You must have another source of income or something.
That's why I don't really, that's why I don't really get involved in conversations on Facebook with people about stuff like that. Not worth my time.
Speaking of time, I got to get some shit done.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Yeah, normally I try to stay away from stuff like that, but I get so tired of these YouTubers coming on here and starting stuff and telling wrong information that sometimes I just have to say something. And I have to say that the admin that did say something did message me and say that everything was fine, that I did not start trouble, and that I was right. And they did put it on there that I was, you know, that they did agree with me. So, you know, but it was just everybody else. It wasn't nothing with the admin. It was just everybody else on there being dumb. Or not being dumb, just uneducated. I don't want to say that. I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. I know.
Did, and it went out on the YouTube interwebs.
I know.
She didn't say dumb.
I want to backpedal that.
I'm not dumb.
Hey, everybody else gets away with backpedaling. Why can't I?
I meant to say stupid.
Because honestly, some of the people that we're talking probably are not dumb or cheating the systems. They may just be new and not understand the rules.
Or they might be dumb and Nikki's trying to backpedal. Just saying.
Or that.
I don't even know who the people were. Could be.
Or just people who like to argue. Maybe they have no idea what's going on and they just like to argue. Well, the one guy said that he was offended by the way I said it. So maybe I said it wrong. And my apologies if anybody is watching. That if I said it rudely, I am never, ever mean to be rude. I'm not a rude person.
I feel bad, Nikki, because I think I got you in this heat because I'm the one who showed you it.
Yeah, Tara, way to go. You set me up. No.
You just have to do your own research, make your own good business decision.
That's it. That's
in the word of Tommy Boy, you can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your sticking your head up a bull's ass. You'd rather take the butcher's word for it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That is truth right there. Truth. And I think on that note, wrap up the show. Butcher paper. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll do it all again.
I love you, Dusty.
And on tomorrow's episode, we'll talk about shipping versus paid shipping versus free shipping.
I think I'm going to California early.
Do it.
I don't blame you. Can I climb in your suitcase?
Let me plan out the next controversial topic, okay?